I want to tear this skull.
Shut up! No, I'm holding you tight. No, give me a hand.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know, it's a girl KylerB coming at you with a new video. So today we're going to be talking about Love Island Season 10, Episode 16, because we don't count dating scene bits. This is Episode 16. Anyway, let's get right into the video. We're basically coming after Scott and Catherine's kiss on the terrace. They get down from the terrace, and you know, they were obviously very giddy, very hyped about the kiss. You know, Scott went to the guys. Catherine went to go find her girls, but before she went to go find her girls, she sat with Ella, Tyrique, Jess, and then Medhi came over to sit. And they're like, "Oh, what were you doing on the terrace?" And you know, Catherine was just like, they were like, "Oh, did you kiss Scott?" And they're like, "Yeah." They were too hyped. Like, they were like, "What? What? What?" So, but Catherine was just trying to keep it like cool and calm, like not trying to like announce it to the entire villa. But obviously, news travel fast. It's a small environment. That thing went quick. Like, everybody know what happened within the night, because Scott told Sammy, which is so funny because he was like, "Oh, no physical attraction." Oh, him and Catherine shared a kiss on the terrace. And I think Zachariah was there, and they were like, "Oh, okay, you kissed Catherine." So then later on in the nighttime, we see Tyrique and Mitchell being messy. Leah's sitting there, and they were like, "Oh, how do you feel about Catherine and Scott's kiss?" Leah did not know anything about that. She did not know not one iota about it, because everybody was trying to keep it down low. But Tyrique and Mitchell had to be the messy people, and it was like, "Oh, how do you feel about that?" And obviously, with that being learned from her, she felt put off even more, because he just, before the kiss, he was like, "Oh, we're still open." Anyway, Montel found out about the kiss, because Montel was on Catherine too. He was like feeling Catherine, and you can obviously see in Montel's face that he was also put off that, oh, they shared a kiss. So it basically, I guess, when you have a kiss like that on the terrace, it kind of like lets people know, oh, it seems like you're feeling this person more than you're feeling that person.
I come up first. At
the end of the day,
I come up first.
You're in first place, and I sold the money.
Like, I know.
So Lee was put off. Montel was put off. That's basically what it was. Then had a game, and it was basically, I think, Never Have I Ever. And we learn about Medhi having something with his teacher. And I'm just like, what's going on in France? Like, what's going on with Medhi and his teacher? We heard that Zachariah, he cheated. So we hear both Ella, Jess, and Mitchell had something to say. Basically like, "Oh, once a cheater, always a cheater. I'm so shocked by you, Zach." We hear Ella was just like, "Yeah, she just not feeling it. Like, she has something to say as well." So, they were just basically on Zach. Molly was just sitting there quietly. Like, she was just basically like, she did not care about it at all. So it's kind of funny, like, they are basically like trying to, like, I guess, put their input about the whole situation. And then Molly's just sitting there like, she don't care. She don't have nothing to say about the whole situation at all. So that was like the biggest highlights from that game. Basically, that was what the takeaway was. And I guess Molly didn't seem to care. But Ella was like, she's going to go apologize to Zach. So she went over to Zach to apologize. And I think they were talking to Jess, and Jess was just like, "Yeah, I don't care. Once a cheater, always a cheater. Like, I don't care. Like, that's not going to change my mind." So, like, they were basically telling Jess, like, "You were doing too much. Like, it's like, you're doing too much. You're, like, amping it up. Like, you should have just calmed down a bit." So when Ella went over to Zachariah, Jess went over there as well, and we're just like, "Go there, apologize for, like, ramping it up or whatever." Next thing you know, we see Mitchell basically had his 2 cents, like, why is Ella, amping it up or putting her 2 cents in, Zach and Molly's business, like blah blah blah. But the thing is that he was also in Zach and Molly's business, so he's not even in that couple. So why is he talking about Ella when Jess was the biggest one out of them three who had something to say? It's kind of funny how he's telling Tyrique about Ella, and like, no. What was so funny is that Tyrique basically, pulled Ella after the whole game. And he was like, yeah, I backed you in public, but in private, you were doing too much. So you just like, you know what? You should just probably, like, I guess, apologize to Zachariah. So that was like, okay, he ate that. He ate that. Because the fact that he was respectable about it, like, letting her, even though he didn't agree with what she said in public, he basically told her, like, okay, what she did wasn't great. So, kind of corrected a bit, and not really embarrass her out loud like that. So, after that, we see, after the whole, Mitchell trying to get on Ella and all that stuff, it was just like, what is he on about? Because Jess was also saying stuff. He was also saying stuff, like, it's not their relationship. Next thing you know, we see Medhi pull Leah for a chat. And that's the biggest shock out of the whole situation. Like, Leah's been in this villa for, I guess, a week and some. Like, if you wanted to get to know Leah, you should have got to know Leah. So he pulls Leah for a chat, basically says, like, he wants to get to know her, blah, 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 blah. This and that, basically, like, putting himself out there. He goes over and tells Whitney about it. And Whitney's just, like, shocked that, they just shared a kiss on the terrace, they're starting to get closer, they're starting to cuddle and whatnot. And then he basically takes a step back and basically says, like, you know what, I want to get to know Leah. Like, I like her vibe, like, and the way he was going about it was just very, no. Like, saying, like, oh, she's articulate and this and that, like, as to say, is Whitney not articulate? Like, what is he saying? Anyway, he tells Whitney about it. Whitney is shocked. Then Medhi goes over, tells the guys about it. You can obviously see in Scott's face that man was just like, okay, you just kissed her on the terrace or whatever, and you now going back to go know Leah. Like, he was literally judging. Like, you can tell in his face, like, he cannot control his reactions because, like, you can see in his face that he was not, agreeing with how, Medhi's moving right now. He's kind of moving mad right now. And when he goes over and tells Catherine and Ella, and, like, Catherine was so shocked, upset for Whitney. Like, she was just like, what? Like, she was just like, that doesn't make no sense. Like, it doesn't make no sense what Medhi is doing. Like, Jess came over, she was shocked, Ella was shocked. Like, everything, it was just so shocking. Like, how are you going to move to Leah now after you kind of progressed a little bit with Whitney? Like, what's going on here? Like, it was just very mad that he wants to get to know Leah now. It's kind of confusing. So they were just kind of upset for Whitney. Everybody was just like, what's going on here, or whatever. Obviously, they all go to bed. It is what it is. They get up in the morning, and then Tyrique is messy. He asked Whitney and Medhi, did you cuddle in bed? It was silent. He was just like, too soon. Like, when I tell you Tyrique is Messyville, he is Messyville. Okay, he's Messyville. But he did clock Mitchell twice in today's episode. We have to give him his props. We have to give him snaps for that because, it's the bare minimum, but he did clock Mitchell. So let's, it was interesting. So in the morning, we have chats. We see the chats. Oh, and before we even get to the sleep at night, Montel went over to Whitney to kind of find out what happened. So then Whitney, I guess she's all confused in her emotions, whatever. And she's like, oh, I'm single. And she's trying to flirt with Montel. And Montel was just like, yeah, no.
A reason not to be. And he said he wants to get to know people. And, I should do the same too,
Yeah, no, of course.
Did you roll me out?
Roll you out? Bro, there's so much on my plate right now, yeah.
I'll tell you got a game.
We'll set on, Bestie from London. Bestie from Ends. Just changed from being a friend to the flirty settings, like it doesn't really work like that. So obviously we're trying to have a conversation, but it just doesn't really work like that for me. Do you know what I mean? And I've already got enough.
Like, he was already just on Catherine and Leah and maybe Ella, so he was like stuttering and just like, yeah, I have too much on my plate. Like, after it's too much I have to think about right now. So she was trying to put herself out there to Montel, and Montel kind of like he didn't catch it at all. Like, he was just like, no. So that was kind of like, she tried, but it just missed a bit. So after they wake up in the morning, we see conversations being had. Tyrique basically check Mitchell.
I just don't appreciate sometimes how Ella moves, even like when you were being
Yeah,
honest.
but don't worry how Ella moves, because it's not you that has to do with her, bro. It's me.
You just like, yeah, like, why are you, like, who made you spokesperson in the villa? Like, why are you on Ella? So, like, if there's a problem with Ella, I should be the one to be concerned with it because I'm in a couple with her. Like, you shouldn't be having a problem with Ella. Like, Ella's, his concern because he's in a couple with her, And the thing about it is that he was just like, why are you speaking up for Zach and Molly? Like, you're not even in their couple. Like, why are you trying to be their defender? So he was just getting him. And I was just like, okay, because Tyrique was just like, he didn't even care. Like, he just like, why are you... Like, if we're not friends, I'll be able to sleep at night. Like, he did not care.
How you approach this has made me lose a bit of respect because you're being fucking horror. You've not approached this maturely.
Yeah, if you lost faithful for this,
I love you
I will sleep at night, that's fine. Whatever.
So I was like, okay, because it was quite funny how he was just like nonchalant with it, like, just like, what are you doing? And, Mitchell had to like, oh, he just did not like how Ella's too opinionated. But I'm just like, he's opinionated as well. He's talking about this, that, and the third, and everyone's like, oh, he's messy. But, like, if you're doing the same thing as Ella's doing, why are you being hypocritical? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, what else happened this episode? I guess Medhi and, Whitney had a following up chat, basically talking about, how he kind of moving mad or moving rogue about the whole, trying to get to know Leah's situation. So there's that. It was kind of funny how, after that conversation, Scott put Whitney on game, basically letting the whole dynamic know that, like, Leah basically is into Montel, like, Medhi doesn't even really have a chance with Leah, like that. So he was putting Whitney on game. It was just so funny. Like, I actually like the dynamic between Whitney, Catherine, and Scott. Like, this is like the past 2 episodes, we just see, Whitney climbing Scott and Catherine's bed, they chat, they're always kind of together a little bit. So I'm just like, oh, okay, they have like a nice little bond together, you know what I'm saying? So it's really nice to see. Because it's like, oh, okay. Also, we see that Molly gets a text that her and Zach are going on a date. So their date is basically bland. Like, I don't really care for the date. They talk about the same exact things. Most likely, as of now, they're basically trying to be the, I guess, best couple in the villa right now, because there's nothing really happening with them. After that, he's like, we see Zachariah locked in, whatnot. The only thing about the date that we can take away from is that, we see Molly saying like, oh, the girls are trying to, get a rise, or the people in the villa were trying to get a rise out of me about the whole cheating situation, and like, I didn't pay them any mind because they were just trying to like mess up our relationship and stuff like that, and make digs out of our relationship, and all that. So like that, and I'm just like, and she's like, oh, I don't even care, and da da da, and like, it just makes our relationship stronger. I'm like, Zach revealing that he cheated when he was younger made your relationship stronger. And the fact that he said at the end of revealing that, he said like, hopefully he gets into a relationship that he does not want to cheat on somebody. Like, what? Like, what is going on in Molly's brain? Like, are you okay? Anyway, while the date's happening, we see Sammy and Mal have like a conversation, and they're going on well. And we see Jess started crying, and I'm like, why is Jess crying over this man? Like, Jess needs to stand up. Why are you crying over this man? Like, please get up. Like, what are you doing? She's crying over him. So after the whole situation, they came back from their date, talk about their date, how it went well, da 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 da. We see Zachariah basically say that, after that date, you know, his head is not going to turn anymore. But, you know, Castle Moore is coming, so you can say all what you want to say. But, you know, Castle Moore, 2-3 days when you're not with Molly, yeah. We're going to see what's going to go on. But I feel like Molly's head is in the game. Like, Molly doesn't even care. Molly's head is in the game right now. She knows what she signed up for. She knows how, you know, things are going to look. She's not trying to make a big fuss about situations, you know. She's going to take it on the chin. I feel like she knows she wants to be the winner. They're really setting Zach and Molly up for a winner's edit. And I feel like, in terms of Castle Moore, I feel like we're going to get the biggest reaction from that if Zachariah decides to move Matt. But we'll see. We don't know. Anyway, they all get ready for nighttime, and they have a text basically getting them to the fire pit, and it's basically recoupling. So with that being said, there's a recoupling. We find out that Mal and Montel are the people to get to vote first. And, you know, obviously with the kiss between Scott and Catherine, it pulled Montel back because I guess the next day I don't think we saw any chats between them at all. So I guess he fell back on that whole trying to get to know Catherine. I don't know. So obviously Montel goes first and Montel picks Leah. So everyone's like, oh my gosh, we can breathe. Because if you pick Catherine, I just messed it up. Like, I need Catherine to be in a stable couple until Castle Moore, because if she just gets into a new couple, it's just like, no, we need her to be at least in a nice stable couple for like a week or two. Let her, you know, have something stable for now until we get to be moving around a bit, because we already got Zach lost, Andre lost, and we can't do another one. Like, let it be, like, stop. So anyway, Mal picks second, and she picks Sammy, and you can see, like, Jess's face, like, you know, a little bothered. We see Ella goes next. She picks Tyrique, obviously, and then Catherine goes next. She picks Scott. They pan the face on Leah, and I'm just like, is Leah still bothered by that? Like, what's going on here? Anyway, after that, Whitney was too funny, because she was like, oh, even though he went rogue. But I'm just like, Whitney, I feel like Whitney actually likes Medhi, and I'm just like, if it was just her kind of like giving into the banter stuff, but like the fact that you're actually caught feelings for Medhi, like, please, Whitney, stand up. But I feel like she really caught feelings for him. So, Medhi, like, what are you doing? Anyway, she recoupled with Medhi because who else was she going to recouple with? Jess went next, she picked Mitch. And then Molly went last, and she obviously picked Zachariah. So next thing you know, we see the preview, and
guess who's back?
And then we see season 2 returning bombshell. Katie comes into the villa, and we're just like, what are you going to do? Because Adam came back into the villa, and we thought he was going to do damage, and he didn't do nothing. Like, he recoupled with Paige, and that was it. Like, Adam did not do any damage. He didn't do much, you know. So, Katie coming in, I don't know. She said her top 3 is Zachariah, Mitchell, and Tyrique. I don't know how that's going to go, but we'll see if she does any type of damage, what it's going to be like in the villa. We don't know. But anyway, guys, this was episode 16 recap review of Love Violence season 10. And if you like this video, comment down below, let me know your thoughts, comments, concerns, and you haven't subscribed to my channel, subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this video.